Now we are recording. Okay, hello everybody. Today we are hosting this seminar in which we are going to learn about Proactiva Open Arms, which is a Spanish NGO from Badalona, if I'm not mistaken. And today we have here Mar Sabé, which is the expert that will explain to us about this NGO. And she will share some materials and videos with you. I will be helping her since she's not a member of eTwinning. We might need a little bit of help with the videos and the material, but well, I know you are patient, so you know how it goes. Okay, so I give the word now to Mar, and she will start giving you this seminar. Thank you, everybody, for being here.
Thank you very much, Carol. Yes, this is Mar. Nice to meet you all. I'm sorry, I apologize because it's my first time using this platform, so I'm not really like in good connected to that. So I will of course really appreciate if you help me in that. And I'm here to explain you a little bit what is Proactiva Open Arms, why was it born, and how. Usually when I speak about our job, I always ask people that if you have any question, maybe you can just stop me and ask it directly, and then, like it's more than a dialogue than a conference, and then back and forth. Since I don't really know how it works here, maybe you tell me what's better. Really. So if it's all right with you, I will start. Okay? Okay, I'll
go on.
Okay, thank you. Proactiva Open Arms is an organization, a non-governmental organization that was born by September 2015. So it's just a little bit more than 2 years ago. And it was born out of a response to an inaction that was taken place at that moment in Greece, in Lesbos. Okay? It was born from an organization, a company, a business company that works in maritime rescue operations over Spain and other places. So out of this organization, some lifeguards went to the Greek island of Lesbos, and they realized what was happening in there by September 2015. There were many people trying to cross the Aegean Sea from Turkey to Greece, and these people had no help at all inside the sea. So this is why they decided to create this NGO, just to put professionality in helping the people who are crossing the sea. Okay, I would like now to share a video with you. That is a video called People of Nowhere. This is not made of us, so it's another journalist just made it. But it's really, for us, it's really clear. It shows perfectly the situation that was taken place there in that moment. So why did we were born and how? So I don't know if you, Carol, can put this video now or.
Okay. I will share my screen and show the video.
Or okay, perfect. Thank you. So, it's the name of Nowhere.
Yep.
And well, before, like while you are putting the video, I will explain a little bit. What is that? Oh, this one, perfect. But can it start at the beginning, maybe? Okay, we couldn't actually see it from the beginning, but it's okay. I guess that you could at least take an idea of what was happening in that moment. So this video, as someone says, is right here. Yes, it is really touching. And but the most important thing is that you realize that that was the situation that we faced when we first arrived. The first two people who arrived there are Oscar Camps and Sarar Canal. They are the founders of this organization, and they are lifeguards by profession. So they were like all their lives they were working here. So then when they saw it, they realized that something had to be done, right? And the problem is that nobody was doing anything because there was no nutrition at all were inside the sea. But the second very important thing at that moment is that nobody knew what was really happening. Why? Because media was not really covering what was happening. So everything started with a picture of Aylan. I don't know if you've heard about it. Aylan is the kid that was found dead in the Turkish shore. Yes, I see that someone knows the story. And this picture actually moved Oscar's daughter. This daughter was 11 years old at that moment, and she was the one who told her dad that if he was a professional of maritime rescue, why was he not helping this person, this kid in concrete, right? So this is why Oscar decided to move to Lesbos with Gerard, who was a friend of his, of course, but also was a professional of maritime rescue, and they started taking people out of the water since an early beginning. They never thought about making or creating an organization, an NGO, but they realized that they had to because nobody was doing that, right? So this is how it started. It started in September 2000 themselves. What does it mean? So they came back after 2 weeks there, and they told their friends what was really happening. And since their friends were also maritime rescuers, they decided to make teams. So they started going to Lesbos in teams of 4 at the beginning to do professional maritime rescue. So all the people who would go there were maritime rescuers, professional maritime rescuers, but who were taking their holidays in being there helping these people. Okay? So at the beginning, it was groups of 4 that they would exchange every 15 days, and it became a group, a professional group of more than 25 people at one time. During 15 months, more or less, so since September 2015 till March 2016, they helped over 150,000 people. That's a lot. And they do it with nothing but their hands and themselves. And also at the beginning, they were taking the same boats that the refugees were using to cross the ocean, while the Asian, they were taking their same boats as if they were boats of maritime rescue. Of course, they weren't, but it's the only thing that they had. Okay. The thing is that since they started taking people out of the water and helping these people, many journalists also saw the reality and saw what was happening. So many journalists started explaining what we're doing, and it began being a noticeable thing before out of Spain done here. So this is also important to point out that it was really, really hard to put the situation that refugees were hitting in that moment in the news, put it in the news for people to know what was really happening. Okay, this is why Oscar and Gerard, they saw in social networks and also in journalists the best allies. It was super important to have to explain at every single moment what was really happening, because if you don't explain it, it's not happening at all. And they realized that. This is why social networks became the best ally that we've ever had. Okay, so you can find that in Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, where you can see other videos of the situation that we were facing at that moment. And we used it to explain the world, and of course to spread the word, because nobody was really talking about that. Okay. Then the organization moved on a little bit. As I said, everything changed by March 2016. I don't know if I'm maybe too fast or if there is any question. Well, I will just move on, and if there is something, you can just stop me, okay? Uh, then by March 2016, there was the agreement of shame, we call it, and it was the agreement that the European Union did with Turkey. Okay, that agreement, it was in exchange of 6,000 million euros. Turkey would stop the refugees from leaving Turkey to reach Greece. As you know, the Greek situation of refugees had been at that moment really, really serious, and it was called a crisis because, of course, there were many, many people, thousands of people who would just try to cross every single day, and there was not means nor people to help them. Okay, so Europe, what they did in that moment, is with attempt to finish the problem, is to arrive at this agreement with Turkey. So Turkey would have like the problem in its costs, so they would do whatever needed to stop that from happening. So that's in the sense that if the people is not trying to reach Europe anymore, it seems that these people is not fleeing or that it's not fleeing from everywhere. But of course, we know that this is not true because people who's fleeing wars or fleeing persecution or fleeing situations of instability that they cannot live there anymore, they would of course try to find ways to live a better life, or not even a better life, but a life, right? So this is why, after this agreement, of course, nothing was stopped. It was different, but it was not stopped. The only thing that it was really stopped was the traffic of boats who were trying to cross the Asia, right? So by before this agreement, there were, as I said, there were thousands of people who were trying to cross every single day. But after that, the traffic stopped. So now there are some, but not that many, not that many. So Proactive Open Arms, what we did in that moment is that it was open program, another project of the AGO. We tried since, as I will remind you that we are a group of lifeguards, okay, lifeguards and professionals of maritime rescue. So these professionals of maritime rescue decided to open a new project in the most dangerous and deadliest maritime route, that is the one from Libya to Italy. Can you hear me? I don't know if I'm... Okay, I will continue.
We can hear you.
Okay. Perfect, because I saw it stop. So, Open Arms, by March 2016, decided to open a new project, and this new project was in the deadliest maritime route that exists, that is from Libya to Italy. Okay? To do so, a businessman let us use his vessel. Okay? This was a vessel that is called Astral. It has been a documentary about that. I don't know, maybe some people of you have seen it. Otherwise, you can also find it, some small videos in our web YouTube page, and also in our web page. And this vessel called Astral was used as a maritime rescue vessel for 4 months. During these 4 months, it started by the end of June and it finished by the end of October 2016. Thanks to this vessel, we rescued over 15,000 people. That's a lot. 15,000 people who were leaving Libya with the attempt to arrive to Europe by Italy. It's important to point out that if you have a map in front of you, you would see where Libya is and where Italy is. It's super, super, super difficult. It's almost impossible. I would say it's impossible from one person who lives Libya in this boat, in these dinghies, as we call it. These dinghies are these boats made out of wood sometimes, but also made out of plastic. And these boats have the people who is in there have no maritime knowledge, have no patrol to do all the routes. So it's impossible that the people will finally reach Italy, right? So this is why it's super important to be like to have NGOs there in the zone, in the SAR zone. The SAR zone is a search and rescue zone, and also to have administrations to help these people. Okay, so Proactiva Open Arms started its job there in this route, and within 4 months we rescued 15,000 people with Astral. Okay, and then also with Astral, we decided to have always journalists on board. As I tell you, for us it's super important to communicate and to explain the world what was happening, because since you are in the middle of the sea, nobody is there. So it's really, really difficult for anybody to actually see or know what is happening, right? So this is why in our teams are always made by professional rescuers. These professional rescuers are volunteers doing this days. So they do the rescue, but also they are always with journalists. There are always 2 journalists on board as well who are reporting everything that is happening. Okay? Okay, after that, after these 4 months, Astral had to come back here. We are here in Badalona, really close to Barcelona. So we have to take this boat here because of some maintenance and reparations and everything. And after that, we continued in the SAR zone with another boat. Okay, but this time was bigger, and we had a hospital inside with all the medical support that was needed to take care of the people who were rescued. Okay, so we continued with this project in the Central Maritime Rescue Route with this second boat, and now we are still there with a third boat. This third boat is the Open Arms. It's a tag that was given to us for a Spanish company, and it was before used for Salvamento Marítimo, that is in the Spanish Maritime Rescue Group that takes care of it. So now we are using this one to also continue with the maritime rescue operation. Thanks to everything and all the people who have given the support to us to make it happen, we've rescued over like almost 60,000 people within these 2.5 years. So like what we are seeing and what we are showing, that it's possible to make it. I would also like to show you another video. Maybe I can do it on my own if I share my screen. I will try to do it, okay? Okay, wait, just give me a second. I will share my screen. So now you see my video, right?
You can just cancel and stop sharing. That's it.
Okay. Now I don't know how to open this again. Wait.
Up.
stop sharing.
Perfect.
Okay. Okay, sorry. Did it work? Okay. Uh, this is kind of a summary of Proactiva Open Arms. And the most important thing that we have realized during the evolution of the NGO, because of course, as I told you, this is an NGO that was made of professional rescuers who had like who had never thought of being activists or making this organization nor anything. They were just professional rescuers who would just work their entire life doing being a lifeguard in the Spanish beaches. But with all everything started, all this crisis started, and it was that close to where we live, and it was in the same sea where we were working, we became aware that something could be done, right? And this something was to do this organization that does migrant rescue, but we always say the same. We did that because this is the thing that we know how to do. You know, it's important that everybody realizes what they can do and then do something in regards to that, right? So this is why this organization was created. Okay? And then in the evolution of the organization, we, as I told you before, we saw that communication was super important since an early beginning. It was important to explain live what was happening. This is why we have our social network where you can see live what is happening in our mission. Okay, you can see where our boat is, if there is making rescues or not, or what is happening, and also it's super important for us to explain the situations of the people who are fleeing. So what we do is that we put the words in them. You know, we want them to explain their life. What do they flee from? How did they arrive where they arrived, and why? This is why we also created a campaign called Voices for Hope, and I would really like to share another video with you of a person who's fleeing Libya, because it's important to point out that all the people that we rescue in the far zones between Libya and Italy, of course, not many are Libyan. There are many from other countries who had ended their migration route in Libya. But when they're in Libya, they are all fleeing Libya, right? So this is why we let them, well, we want them to explain what is really happening, and we just record their messages and then we share it. So this is why in our social networks you can also find a lot of testimonies that from people, the same people who have lived there, that can tell you what is actually happening. So I don't know if I should put now the video, or maybe you want to put it, Carol, if it's easier, or
You tell me if you want me to share it from my screen, or if you want to share it from your screen. That's up to you.
I will do it.
You tell me which one is it?
No, I have it here. So no, yes, I have it here. I will try to do it. It works the other time?
Yep.
Okay.
Helen Livia.
Yes, Helen Livia.
Do you have it, or should I put
it better? You put it better, because I have it, but I don't know if it works. You put it better.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. No problem. Sorry, just a minute.
Hello? Um, I don't know if now this is working, but the the video was stopped in the middle, so I don't know if I should put it or if there's something wrong. Maybe I'll try. I'll try to share it now. So maybe now it works. Okay. I will try to make it again.
Sorry, I think the connection was lost while I played the video.
Okay, so this is just one example of a person who has been rescued by Proactiva Open Arms. Where, sorry, of course you can find many, and they're all almost the same. Like people is fleeing torture, people is fleeing rape. All the women are fleeing rapes. The men as well. They're fleeing prosecution. They are fleeing like the worst situations that we can ever imagine. So, and what we do actually is just to try to rescue them in the sea, because as I told you before, that's who we are and that's what we do. And of course, we would like to do better, to do other more and more things, but that's who we are lifeguards. So that's what we can do. Okay. I was explaining you a little bit the big things that are raised for us during the evolution of the organization. The first one was communication, and I know that I've repeated it many times, but it's important, and we realized that it was super important to communicate what was happening. The second one, of course, was the action, so taking out the people from the water and helping them not to die, of course, because that's what we are and that's who we are as well. But the third one, and also super important, is to raise awareness. If I'm not wrong, I know that all of you that are here come from schools and you are teachers and you come from the academic, I guess. So for us, it's super important as well to raise awareness to the kids, but of course to everybody as well, but also to the kids because they are the future. And we've realized that we don't like the world where we are living right now, because in a perfect world we would have never existed, because it seems that nobody would have the attempt to die in the sea, because of course that would not happen, because if we were respecting human rights, people would never be left adrift in the sea. This is our thought, right? So this is why we decide to raise awareness by going to different schools and anywhere we are invited to explain what's really happening and what are we doing, but not because of us, but because of them. As I told you, it's super important for us to give them voice, to explain to the people themselves, explaining what they are living and where are they fleeing from. Because when they arrive to Europe, we can see that we are all the same. We are all humans and we have human rights. And if there are vulnerations of human rights in one side, there will also be vulnerations of human rights in the other side. So this is why for Proactiva Open Arms it's super important to raise awareness. And since the early beginning, all the volunteers that have gone on a mission, first in Lesbos, but secondary in the maritime central group, in the route from Libya to Italy, all the volunteers have gone to different schools, but also different groups of people, different ages, who want to hear a little bit. So this is why when you invited me as well, I decided, of course, to join. And I was also really, really glad that I could be here explaining you a little bit what is happening and what are we doing, and of course, how do we do it, right? So for us, it's super important to raise awareness, and we also made some videos because of that. And these videos are aimed to the scholars and to explain the kids better what is happening, and for them to understand a little bit that what I was telling you, that vulnerations of human rights have no differences in between where were you born, or at least it shouldn't be. I will show you another video, and this video is for schools. All the videos that I'm showing you now are in our YouTube webpage, and also you can find it in our Twitter and Instagram. I'm telling you so because if you want to use it, for instance, in your schools or I don't know, wherever you think that people can want it, or maybe they can use it for schools or for their classes, of course you can find it and you can easily share it. Okay? So I will show you this last video, and after that, if you agree, we could start. If you have any questions, or maybe I should make myself clear in some point or wherever, we could start with that. Okay, so but before that, I will show you this video. This video is a little longer than the other ones that I showed to you. It's just 4 minutes, but within these 4 minutes, it's also was explained, and also you can find some examples of situations that people have faced. So it also helps in the schools to explain the kids what's happening. So I will put this last video, and after that, we can start the facts part. Okay? I hope I can do it while with this one. Okay, I think yes. Um, I don't know if you could follow the the video. I hope that everybody could. As I told you, all the videos are in our social networks, in YouTube, in Facebook, in Twitter, in Instagram, so you can easily find it if you follow these networks. And well, that's pretty much it. As I told you, raising awareness for us is super important. So anytime that we're invited to any school or anywhere, we always go. And also now we have the Astral, the road that I told you before. A documentary was made in there, and also another documentary of the Spanish public TV was made on our second boat, the Open Arms, as I said. So you can also find it online if you are interested in follow a little bit more about the organization. And now the Astral is doing um, raising awareness too. It started in Catalonia, in the different harbors, with the help of the government, the Catalan government, and also the Barça Foundation, the Football Club Barcelona Foundation. And during 2 months, it went to the different harbors in Catalonia, and all the schools and the people were invited on, so they could see from there, like of course visit the boat, but also like hear all the stories of our volunteers and seeing the videos that I showed you, but many others. And now we found another agreement with the Balearic Islands government. So now the study is doing the same in the Balearic Islands. And thanks to that, we've arrived to more than 21,000 kids from all the region. And this is super important for us because, as I told you, like the kids are the future, and they are the ones who will decide where do they want to live, right? And in which country and with which policies. So we are the response of deliberate inaction of different big administrations, and we are just a group of few people who decided to put themselves together to do something that they thought that it had to be done, right? So that's pretty much it. So I would like to open the facts session now. So if you have any questions, you can just tell me. I don't know how does it work, so I would like the moderator to help me in that. But yeah, I'm up for any questions.
So it's time now for questions, maybe? If you have any questions for Mar.
I don't know if there is a place where
Yeah, you
we
can
write the
you can
webpage
type it
or
in the chat
anything.
so
Carol, maybe?
people can take it. I will also send
Here, see?
with the certificates. I will also send the recording of this live online event, and also the website, so everybody can use the materials that you have in there.
Okay. There is another thing that I didn't tell, but maybe you think it's important. The way we found our stuff, 95% of the money, the budget that we have, comes from different donors. So it's private donors. People just decide to give us the money because they feel that the project is worthy. So this is 90%, 95%, sorry, of all our budget. And the 5%, the other 5%, it comes from small organizations, but the ones that are closer to citizenship. So these organizations are municipalities mainly. This is important to point that out because we don't get any money from government, not even big administrations as the European Union or the European Commission or the UN, or we got recognition from them, but we didn't get any money yet. Maybe at some point we will, but not so far within these 2.5 years. So we are actually really what it said as a citizens response. So we are citizens, and also we get the support and the money to do what we do by others. All of this from
There is Lorena asks, as eTwinners, the online session was very interesting, but how could we contribute to sustain the efforts you are making? We can only create a greater awareness in younger generations.
Not only. I don't think that you can only create awareness in younger generations. But the younger generations is the main target. This is important because this is the future. This is why we always like put our aim in being helping the students. But of course, there are many others and many other things that can be done. For instance, invite people from all over to visit our missions and also from all ages possible, and to realize what we want to show as well is that everybody can do something. As I told you at the beginning, as I told you before, we are a group of lifeguards. So as professional lifeguards or professional maritime rescuers, we can save people and we can take them from water. But why? Because, like all the people that come to our mission, they know how to do it because they can prove it and they have experience in that. But there are many others who can do other stuff. So this is important to point that out. You are professors, so you can, of course, raise awareness and maybe make something different to change society, right? And if there is other people who have other profiles, of course, they can also do something. For us, the most important thing to point out here is to make people realize that something can be done, and by raising awareness and by at least knowing that this is happening and don't look the other side, this is the first step, and it's the most important one. So whenever there is elections, so it's important to try to vote on consequence of human rights. Whenever there is maybe like you have to buy stuff, it's important to also buy things that that are doing are done with taking care of human rights of the people who made them, for instance. So this is an important that we really like to point that out. Everybody can do anything, and you don't need to be a lifeguard to help these people. Not at all. Like because there are many refugees in your old towns, I'm pretty sure, and there are many refugees everywhere, and we can help the people that we have really close. You don't need to go inside the sea to really do something to change what is happening. So that's important to point out, and that's important to also explain the youngest generations that
Indeed.
they have
Then
the
we
clue and
have
they are the
Lorena
future.
Agullá says, could an Erasmus Plus project be created to get to know better your organization? I mean, could visits be done? Uh,
Yes,
well, actually,
yeah, sure, is fine.
Lorena, I can say
Okay,
myself
well,
as a teacher, I already have an Erasmus Plus project, which is about refugees. And actually, I contacted Mar from Proactiva Open Arms to start helping somehow. This is like you know, we can help our students, of course, raising awareness and so on, but also by knowing others who are doing things for refugees firsthand. And I can say that we have spoken with Proactiva Open Arms, and they are making a school visit to do this awareness directly.
yes. As I told you, like anytime that we are invited somewhere, we try our volunteers to go there. So of course, like this can be done. In our organization by itself, it's a little bit more complicated to come and be part of it, mainly because we are professional of maritime rescue, so like all our volunteers are as well. So the volunteers that it comes and are part of our missions are mainly lifeguards, keepers, doctors, nurse, and the cook. Those are the profiles that can come on board, because as you imagine, the place and the no common place, everything is shared, and we cannot be professional. That's not from professional. But there, as I said before, there are many, many ways of helping. There are many ways of doing and being part of the refugee crisis, as it is known, even though we don't like that word at all, by being part of other organizations maybe that work in the camp. We don't work in the field, but I know that there are many in Greece and all over Europe and in many countries that you can go there and help the people in Syria. And also, by, what I said, by looking at it face to face and realizing that there is a situation that has changed. This is the most, everybody can do wherever it is can make.
Is there any other question before we finish? Okay, Ekaterini, I'm sharing the link, but actually, the word, sorry, the title of the group is Integrating Migrant Students at School. I'm writing it again. You will receive a link right now. We also have a Facebook group. I'm sharing here the Facebook group, and let me find the link to the group as well. Well, I cannot do it since right now, but I will send you a mail with it, because in order to host these meetings, you have to join not with your account, but with the CSS account, so I cannot do it right now. Someone is, Luisela Bianco Mar is asking, any danger in your work?
Yes, of course, of course. We are going. We
What can
know
you
that we
tell
are going
her?
to a war zone. It's not, of course,
Can you
really
hear me, Mar?
direct war because we are in the SAR zone and this is international waters. But even though it's international waters, you never know what can. Can you hear me? I was talking. I don't know if you hear what I was explaining. Hello? Um, I think, I don't know if someone can hear me. Uh, I was explaining while I was trying to answer the question. Okay, I was asking at the question. Okay, thank you, Maria. I see that someone can hear me. I was asking at the question if we have to face any risk or any danger. Yes, I'm saying that yes. Once our boat was kidnapped, and also the known as Libyan Coast Guards. These Libyan Coast Guards, it seems to be an organization that actually in the end has to take care of the people who tries to leave Libya by sea. But the thing is that in Libya there is no government. So since there is no government, it's impossible to have a maritime rescue operation that belongs to a government because there is no government. So what happens in the end? These are group of paramilitaries, so people who are armed as hell, so they have guns all over, but they have no clue of how to really make maritime rescue, right? So last summer, we were kidnapped. One of our boats was kidnapped by this group, for more than 2 hours, and it was actually, of course, really dangerous and freeing situation. And this after 2 hours, thanks to a call that we still don't know where did it come from, but of course we started asking for help for all the administrations all over the world, all the administrations that we knew, and after 2 hours, it happened to finish this kidnap. But of course, this is a dangerous situation, of course, and all the volunteers that come to our mission, they know where they are going. They know that they might have a little bit of risk, even though we would never put on risk our crews. But sometimes it's not an easy situation, not at all. And what we say always, like the people that flee, this is the people who need all our respect, because of course they are fleeing danger and they are fleeing risk and they are fleeing many situations that none of us would never even imagine. So this is why maybe we can face risk, but the people who's fleeing, they are the ones who really face risk. So we will continue doing so since there is no one life left, as we've explained in our mission. So I don't know if someone could hear my reply.
Someone asks, who rescued you?
We really don't. We still don't know because we were being kidnapped by this army, or known as Libyan army. But then after 2 months, the same army said, okay, put room north. So leave. So they left us alone
Okay,
in the
great.
end, but we don't know
So if
who
there
made the
is
call
no
to
other
let them know that we
questions,
were not a
we
subject.
will just
So
leave it
we
here. We
don't
will
really
send you the
know who does that.
certificates tomorrow. We will also send you the links to the eTwinning group, the links to Proactiva Open Arms webpage. So if you want to use their materials in your school with your students. Thank you everybody for being here. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. And well, if you want to say something as a goodbye, Mar.
Yes, of course. Thank you for inviting me. I hope I could maybe answer some of your questions, and otherwise, you can also have my contact. And the thing is that we will continue to be doing what we do because it's the only thing that we know how to. And I just
And
encourage
see
all of
you.
you to do wherever you think that
So I will
it
just
can be
stop
done.
recording.